Master Super Center, Kaya Harbour House, Kingston, and St. Anne. Or online at risetotheoccasionlive.com. Pre-sale tickets $6,500 general, VIP $13,500.
Rise to the occasion, look at yourself and say you're strong. No one can stop you. Yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Odyssey with Yendi, brought to you by Grace, Singer, and Islandnet Services.
Need to estimate your duty? Perform a track and trace? Search for a declaration?
Then download the Jamaica Customs mobile app today. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
12 p.m.
It's time!
Welcome to High School Pitchside. We have another fascinating episode for you.
More matches, more big clashes.
Let's talk about some of the big rivalries coming up this week.
More of your favorite features.
And trust me, you won't fall asleep in this history class.
And of course, we always want to hear from you.
Hear from your alma mater's players and coaches in Team Talk.
You know we can't leave you out. So send us your messages on social media and watch us react on FanView.
And you know we love a good little debate, right, Gio? We've got you covered all season long on High School Pitchside.
High School Pitchside, your ultimate guide to all things schoolboy football, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV. Where it all begins. The quest to become great. Inspired by those who went before them, these four boys dream of playing in the ISSA schoolboy football competitions.
Will you score this for Casey? Will you score? It's a shot, it's a goal!
And it's a shot, and it's a goal! And Casey has won the Manning Cup, and they will play Clarendon College in the Olivia Shield. And that's what you love to see. They may be rivals, but the camaraderie is what it's all about. Can't wait for the final.
When the bus the man, I want to watch my son play finals on CVM, you know.
But mums, you can't watch it on CVM website, man.
Boy, my son score, my son score, my son score, my son score.
Greatness begins here.
Thanks for joining us for CVM News at noon. It's Friday, October 17. I'm Amoy Harriet. We begin with news from downtown Kingston. 2 members of the Jamaica Defence Force, JDF, are among 5 people hospitalized following a motor vehicle crash early this morning. The accident happened around 6:30 at the intersection of Harbour Street and Hanover Street. Passersby offered assistance as all the victims were taken to hospital. Now, the extent of the injuries are not yet known. The police have launched an investigation into the circumstances leading to the crash. After months without a functioning ambulance, the Negril Fire Department is finally getting relief. According to Acting Fire Chief for Westmoreland, Fullwood, 2 out-of-service ambulances are now being repaired.
One is still at the station as it relates to the ones that making accidents. One is still at the station information while one is at the mechanic shop. Party work as we did initial based on information that we got. All the parts, so many parts were overlooked when they did initial assessment find out to have all the parts that we needed to fix it.
A tense standoff unfolded in Hopewell Farm, Hanover this morning as a longtime resident clashed with police and a bailiff who reportedly attempted to serve what she claims is an illegal eviction notice. The homeowner, Gloria Phillips, says she's been living on the property with her family since 1984 and that the land was first occupied by her and her now deceased husband, Valentine Phillips, along with their son. Mrs. Phillips told her news team that just last year she was taken to court over ownership of the property and insists the matter remains unresolved.
We are in court, and the judge told us, that was last year, May 1924. He just told us that Craig Phillips must pay us for the value of our house, the farm, everything that we have on the farm, must pay us for it. In which he said the land must value before 30 days. And when I'm here waiting for Craig to come and value, don't turn up. So I go ahead and value the place. And when I value the place, I get $52 million.
Renewed calls this afternoon for the government to ensure that planned revisions to the Beach Control Act guarantee greater public access to the island's beaches. Now, the Jamaica Beach Birthright Environmental Movement, JABEM, says while changes to the 1956 law are already underway, the new measures must prioritize the rights of Jamaicans to freely enjoy the nation's coastlines. The group argues that for too long, the existing legislation has favored private and tourism interests over the public and is urging that the updated act formally protect public access as a right.
35% of the economy is tourism, but we don't benefit from it at scale as multinational corporation. Therefore, any law must also move the economic justice agenda of coastal people, of Jamaicans in general. So we are saying that legislation must give Jamaicans inherent rights that are protected under law, and it must be forever, right? Just as how it is in Barbados and Cayman and all these other islands, St. Kitts and Nevis and Antigua. They have protection to access their beaches and use the sea. We think that all beaches across the country must be declared as public land.
Meanwhile, Environment Minister Matthew Samuda says the government has been steadfast in its commitment to expanding public access to beaches, noting that the ongoing review of the Beach Control Act is aimed at striking a balance between environmental protection and the rights of Jamaicans to enjoy their coastlines.
The government will be tabling very soon its beach access policy, which will be very clear about the government's intention to ensure that Jamaicans have access to beaches that are high quality, internationally renowned, and give our leisure seekers access, give our fisher folk access to the sea, and give all Jamaicans who wish a fair chance to do commerce in the space a fair chance to do so. There are 83 points of free beach access in Jamaica today, right? So beach access is not something that has disappeared from Jamaica. There's access issues to some particular beaches. Now, what the policy seeks to achieve is beach access for every Jamaican within a few kilometers of wherever they are on the coastline, and that is what we will achieve.
Stakeholders in Negril are dismissing concerns about sewage contamination in the famous 7 Mile Beach. There have been concerns in recent days of a possible sewage leak, but the Chief Health Inspector for Westmoreland says a thorough investigation will be done. Carla Ramdeen tells us more.
Following concerns in recent days, Chief Health Inspector Steve Morris explains that he was unaware of any sewage contamination along Negril beaches, but he will be investigating the matter by sending persons to test the water.
But I will assign the officer to do some sampling of the Negril beach, and at a later time we can provide that results at the committee meeting.
Meanwhile, the chairman of Negril Tourism Destination and Negril hotelier Richard Wallace is coming to the town's defense. Mr. Wallace told CVM that all beaches in the area are routinely tested and remain safe for public use.
There are some challenges with the sewage plant that is up in Negril, right? And those those issues are being looked into. It's not an ideal situation, but it is not creating any major problems for the beach and beachgoers.
Mr. Wallace noted that this is not the first time he has heard such rumors. He said he has since spoken directly with Councillor Coley, who indicated the allegations was made at the Westmoreland municipal meeting by a businessman from the community.
And that businessman, I spoke to him as well, because, you know, these things are not the type of things that you want plastered all over the news. And so I'm very concerned about that. Yes, Negril has issues just like everywhere else in the world, but we need to come together as a community and sort these out, deal with them, work with the government, and get these things remedied and not broadcast them.
Mr. Wallace added, these allegations are affecting tourism in Negril. CVM also spoke with tourists and local workers using the beaches.
No, I don't see anything of that, because I'm here every day and also night, and the water is very nice. I swim every day, and if it was bad, I would see it's bad.
Waters are so clear
and calm.
Yeah, super calm. It's been beautiful. Yeah.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
The Education Ministry says it will be meeting with stakeholders on November 16 to decide a way forward for the Jamaica Teaching Council JTC bill. Now, the JTC bill, which was passed in the Senate in April, seeks to regulate and professionalize the teaching workforce through licensing and a formal code of practice. The legislation has, however, faced mounting criticisms the past few months, resulting in delays to implementation. The Jamaica Teachers Association says it's against the bill in its current form, arguing that several clauses in the proposed legislation are too punitive and could undermine teachers' professional independence. Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon addressed the matter at Thursday's Education Transformation Oversight Committee press conference.
In that meeting, what we will do is we will go through the concerns, because the JTA's concerns actually look different than some of the other stakeholders. And they actually want something strengthened where JTA may want it adjusted in a different way. But as a government, we've always said that we are about listening and consensus. And that's what we're going to work towards. And as the chair said, we don't need to be trying to get the perfect bill. We need to move forward. This is something that for over 20 years we've been working at. And we need to finish it and have a bill. We can always change later on and add new elements to it.
Now, the latest U.S. airstrike off Venezuela's coast on Tuesday, which killed 6 people, including 2 nationals of Trinidad and Tobago, is deepening concerns in the region. The U.S. claims the vessel was tied to drug trafficking, but Caribbean leaders and rights groups are questioning the legality of the recent attacks and their impact on regional security. Now, independent defense analyst and consultant Dr. Sanjay Baji Maharaj says there's unease over the use of force without clear evidence, while Christoph Simpson, who is the secretary of the Left Alliance for National Democracy and Socialism, warns the strikes could set a troubling precedent for future U.S. actions in the region.
There is obviously concerning the fishing communities. There is, of course, a great deal of concern as to, the use of force in such a situation where you're not entirely certain whether or not there's actual justification for the use of that force. There's certainly no evidence being presented. On the other hand, Trinidad has been under a lot of pressure from cartels operating out of Venezuela. So on one hand, there is great concern that 2 Trinidadians have been killed. And on the other hand, there is a lot of, there's a view, I don't want to say that it's justifying the American action, because that's going a bit far. But there is a view that something had to be done and harsher action against the narco cartels is necessary. But I come back to this point. Where you have a situation, you're doing a hard kill against a target. You have no evidence to show that this vessel was in fact carrying drugs or anything illegal for that matter. You may suspect it. You may believe it is true, and it may in fact be true. But you have proved nothing.
We have maintained opposition to Southcom, as in their presence in the region. We don't believe that Southcom should exist. We don't believe that U.S. military presence should be welcome in the region. and then know that a drug problem that Trinidad and Tobago may be having is the justification for these military strikes. That brings a lot of concerns after what we've seen. The US has used other things for pretexts that sound legitimate, and they claim to present evidence. In this case, they're not even presenting evidence, but they claim to present evidence, and then we find out after they've started a war, killed hundreds of thousands of people, that, oh, the evidence they presented at first was not so. If the strikes that we see now are normalized, it can be the starting point.
To other news now, disgruntled supporters of the People's National Party staged a protest outside the Central Westmoreland Constituency office in Sabna Lamar on Thursday. The protest followed what they say was a recent move by Member of Parliament Dwayne Vaz to remove Councillor Julian Chang as chairman of the division. The supporters also want Ms. Chang to be removed as councillor.
We cannot move her as councillor, but you have to move as chairman.
Yes, move long time because she's not moving good. She just yapping up her mouth all about, telling people a lot of things about Dewey and I call up Dewey's name.
Now, the supporters say Councillor Chang was not actively present to support MP Vaz during the 2025 general election campaign. They insist they want a councillor who will be active and present.
When she was campaigning to be a councillor, MP now Vaz was with her. She refuses from campaigning with candidate Vaz. She went further. I have a cousin that lives in Hanover who came and voted for her during the parish council election. My cousin called her, asking her for, some money when she come down, bus fare. Because she don't have it, but she want to come vote for Dwayne. Miss Chang tell her, say, she not fi vote for Dwayne, she fi vote for George Wright.
And it's time now for a break, but stay with us. More when we come back.
This is Deposit Insurance in a Minute. JDIC insures deposits up to $1.2 million per depositor, per ownership category, per institution.
This includes individual and joint accounts. If you have an individual account, it is insured separately from a joint account that you share with someone else.
So my personal account can get up to $1.2 million, and the joint account where me and my mother have can get up to $1.2 million too.
That is it.
JDIC ensures that if you have an account in your name alone and another account with somebody else, your money is protected, giving you financial security and peace of mind.
Nice to know.
Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation.
Protecting your deposits,
securing your future.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
Join Pastor Gino Jennings for our 23rd Jamaica Holy Convocation at the Montego Bay Convention Center, 1 Rose Hall Road, Jamaica. Services are Friday, October 17th at 7 p.m., Saturday, October 18th at 6 p.m., and Sunday, October 19th at 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. Again, the Montego Bay Convention Center, October 17th to the 19th. For information, call 267-989-9189.
Welcome back to CVM News at noon. Concerns are mounting as reports continue to surface about employees stealing from within the very companies that employ them. In recent weeks, several organizations have found themselves grappling with internal theft. These breaches of trust have not only raised questions about workplace ethics, but also about the systems in place to detect and prevent financial misconduct before it spirals. Now, joining us for this conversation is security consultant Robert Finzi-Smith. Welcome, Mr. Finzi-Smith.
Thank you. I hope I find you well.
So we've seen a string of reports in recent months about employees, stealing large sums from their employers. For example, the Beryllium employee who recently drove off with about $15 million. What do you think is driving this spike in workplace theft?
It could be based on how they feel they are being treated. Because if you're not happy in a job, you won't mind losing it, especially if you're leaving with a severance pay that you would get.
So, Mr. Finzi Smith, do you think in any way that this is an indication that, companies' internal controls and auditing systems are somewhat failing?
I don't even call it failing. The question now is, are they in place? People have been doing business without a lot of controls in place for quite some time. Because putting in controls costs money.
All right, your audio is going a little bit in and out, Mr. Finzi.